All right, Jim and Linda and Nicole, I just thought I'd record some feedback that I had because it's just going to be a lot in respect to just writing it out. Um, One of the questions that I would have for Leah and Bill, there's a mention about a certain percentage of courses that they would want in these categories 2 through 4. Obviously, not that we are against that idea in general, but having a forced percentage as you think about our programs, and I know that we would say we really want to model a lot of these in-person modalities or in-person strategies. So I just would hate for us to be pigeonholed into just for the sake of percentage to have courses in certain formats. Not that we're against those formats, but it does seem to be just concerns me that it could be really prescriptive and force us into things. I'd be curious to know what they're thinking about, like the length of time that a particular course, like how long would a class period be? Just thinking about how currently our students have pockets of time within their day that they can go and accomplish clinicals. I think that's a larger conversation for us as well in the School of Ed. So if we went to these 8-week formats, what would that mean for clinicals, pre-student teaching that we currently have embedded in certain coursework? We wouldn't be able to really give students as much flexibility in time to go out and do clinical or pre-student teaching especially. So we'd have to really restructure our whole curriculum to have specific gaps of time where a student wouldn't have class but would be expected to be out in schools. It's obviously would be a major reshift of our programs. Just think about new NLPs that would be written. Again, not to be a naysayer, but just questions that would pop up with that. It was interesting that Leah and Bill talk about how there's this kind of typical 30 credits that students would be taking per academic year. Well, that's obviously not the case for our students. Many of them take a lot more than that. And so would that fit in well or not in these 8-week programs? I'd assume that there'd be an expectation for us to have far more courses being offered in these other terms that are listed here, and that could be problematic for a variety of reasons. But one of the things that they mentioned is, just make sure that faculty has at least one of these terms open and available. I just can't see the faculty saying yes to this. Like if this is my term this summer too that I have off, this is, they're basically what they're asking is for faculty to take an additional month of, like, normally we're done in mid-May, and then they're going to be still on all the way through till mid-June. I just could see that being not very popular with the faculty in terms of their desire to teach into a 5th term, because most are going to say, no way, Jose, and I want to continue to teach this. I just wonder from a scheduling perspective how in the world they're going to get all this in. Another thing that I thought of was, what does it mean to get my 24 TCs in? So am I getting across these 4 terms, again, if most people try to go with fall, the 2 falls and the 2 springs, am I getting in 6 TCs in each of those terms? And then what does that look in terms of total instruction time? I'm just trying to comprehend what the seat time would be, and it just feels like we're going to have a much more full day of teaching 5 days a week than we normally do. And if they're really going to advocate that we're teaching 5 terms, I just think the faculty is going to lose their mind about that, because if I'm teaching 5 terms, I'm teaching from August 24th through June 19th. That is adding a whole month extra on of instruction compared to what I used to do. And I know that we can't just be old fuddy-duddies and say that we're not going to change because it makes it inconvenient for us, but I just think it's going to be really challenging. So I'd love to hear more about like what they see as the actual seat time requirements. And I get that they obviously have the HLC things in mind, but what's the benefit from a scheduling perspective? I know that they say that it gives the students added flexibility, and I know that that needs to be a main consideration. But is this all on the back of the faculty in a sense that we're giving this flexibility? So those are my thoughts. I'm at 5 minutes and 48 seconds, so I'm going to stop. I do like, I won't stop. I do like the idea of trying to mix things up and make it more flexible. I just would need to hear more about how this actually gives added flexibility.